Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Thigh Society is a company that began with a personal problem and grew into a remarkable business success. In 2008, Marnie wasn't trying to build a brand. She was trying to solve a need, and a lunchtime walk set that idea into motion. What followed was a bootstrap company built to $40 million without outside investment, without retail experience, and without a full-time team beyond herself. We'll talk about the strategy behind the growth and what she had instead of venture capital, a large staff, and why Thigh Society has stayed focused on a problem that affects women of every size. Beyond the product itself, Marnie also recognized that thigh chafing was a real consumer issue worth addressing, and that business insight helped shape the company's success. I'm joined by Marnie Rabinovitch, CEO and founder of Thigh Society. Marnie, welcome to Empowered. I'm so happy you're here today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you didn't set out to be an entrepreneur. What were you actually trying to do in 2008 when you went for that walk? And how did a lunchtime walk just change everything for you?
So it was June 2008 on a very hot day. And as we know in Toronto, we moved pretty much from winter to spring overnight. So I put on a dress that morning, excited to go to work. And on my lunch break, decided to get some fresh air. It was probably about a block into that walk that I started to feel an all too familiar burning between my thighs. And it was chub rub or thigh chafe. And I realized I forgot to put on my bike shorts that I had been wearing consistently every summer since as long as I could remember. And these were a pair of old Nike black thick bike shorts because I couldn't go bare-legged without anything between my legs. I'm a sweaty human, always have been.
A lot of us are.
A lot of us are. And I really just needed some fabric coverage. And so I waddled to the nearest pharmacy, keeping my legs apart so they wouldn't burn even more than they already were, grabbed some baby powder from the shelf and waddled back to my office, into the bathroom, and started putting baby powder on my legs. There was powder everywhere on my dress, and I literally shook my fists in the air. There has to be a better way. It's 2008. How come there's no solutions for women who need to wear something protective under their clothes?
Mhm.
So I spent the better part of that summer looking for the ideal underwear. I was not looking to be an entrepreneur. I was not looking to start a business, but I really needed this product. And I started asking people around me, my family, my friends, my coworkers even, what do you do? Do you sweat down there? Do you get rashes?
And what a question to ask people.
I'm shameless. I am shameless. If you know me, I will ask anyone
Excuse
anything.
me.
Yeah. Excuse me, but can you lift your skirt for me? And the remarkable thing was a lot of women revealed right away that either they had stopped wearing dresses altogether on hot days, or women had hacks, right? They would take their pantyhose and cut them. They would wear men's boxer brief underwear, which, have extra fabric,
Thick, right.
hot, or they would wear bike shorts like me, which you had to layer with a panty underneath. And you already are bitter that you can't go bare-legged. So the last thing you want to do is wear multi-layered.
Yeah.
So, I knocked on doors of lingerie boutiques in Toronto, and I couldn't find what I was looking for. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to have to invent these. And that was the birth of Thigh Society.
Okay, so wow, what a story. And, you quit not only one, but two jobs with a pension.
Yes, I did.
What did that feel like from the inside? And what did you tell yourself? Like, why did you do it?
So both times were quite different. The first time I quit was a natural course in my career. I had been with the government of Ontario for 2 years and felt like I had done some good work, but I was ready to move on. And this was at the time where I had this epiphany about this need for this anti-chafe garment. So it made sense for me to quit at that point in time to pursue Thigh Society full time. The second time, I was actually a career coach at the University of Toronto, coaching students at the Rotman School who are MBA students looking for career switches. And I had been running Thigh Society at that point, part-time, for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Helping my students transition their careers. A lot of them were coming in as engineers, getting their MBAs, wanting to move into management. So day in and day out, here I am inspiring all of these students to completely switch careers. And on the side, I'm running Thigh Society. So I had turned 40, and that was really for me an important marker where it became obvious that Thigh Society had legs, pun intended. I'm here for a good pun. We were already doing about 5 figures in revenue, approaching 6 figures by then. And I thought to myself, if not now, when? And so I called myself a reluctant entrepreneur to start because I had no background, even when I started Thigh Society, in apparel manufacturing and e-commerce. I knew nothing about this industry, only that I had a problem and I knew the solution didn't exist.
We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's topic is your problem might not be your purpose. Okay. You were told you were on Dragon's Den.
I was not on Dragon's Den.
but
I
you
met
were-
a dragon.
Oh, okay. Even better. So you were told by a Dragon's Den dragon
Yes.
that this would be a small cottage industry.
Yep.
So how do you make a decision to keep going when someone with more experience says you're wrong?
It was tough, I'll be honest, but I knew in my core that there was a need for this product. I was the customer for this product, and I knew that there were so many other women who were struggling with chafing and lower body sweat and didn't have an appropriate underwear solution to wear. And this dragon told me to my face, I don't think women are going to forego shapewear for something that's not a shapewear product. And I said, I disagree with you because I've had this experience and had the struggle.
Mhm.
And I just kept believing in myself and believing from the women, hundreds of women that became thousands of women who kept sharing with me that they needed this product. And that's how I kept going.
Good for you. And I think that's really important. We surround ourselves with incredible people. We have mentors. And sometimes when someone tells you you're wrong, you can't do it. Like my mother always said, don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do it. You need to follow your gut and you need to go ahead. Like you bootstrapped to $40 million with no outside investment, no retail experience, and no full-time employees other than yourself. Like, what did you have instead?
I think I had confidence, and I had a bit of a fake it till you make it attitude. And I think a lot of people think you need to be confident coming in, but I knew I had a solid product market fit. I knew women wanted this product. I needed to figure out how to get it to market. So while I am the only full-time employee, I do have a team of freelance contractors who have been essential in getting this business to where it is today, as well as hearing from women who are willing to have the conversations that were taboo back in 2008 and 2009. And we've been leading the charge in this category of helping women to feel empowered by talking about issues that we shouldn't be in the closet about or feel shame about. So
you know what? But that's important and incredible because we were never to talk about menopause. We were never to talk about chafing. Like, there's so many things that weren't ladylike to talk about, and we all sat back and suffered quietly.
Yep.
So this is the time to get out there and say, "Hey, I've got a solution. This is important."
100%. I think once we start naming these things, we can start talking about them. And as women, we're often waiting for permission to have these conversations. And Thigh Society is here to have that conversation and to start opening those doors.
I love it. So you've talked about being queen of staying places too long, right? And I know a lot of women do that.
Yep.
How does the quality show up in how you've built Thigh Society, and where has it actually served you?
So I do call myself the queen of staying places too long because I stayed at my full-time job for 7 years while running Thigh Society part-time because I was really afraid to go all in because what if I failed? And I left my permanent full-time job at the exact right time. And how it's helped us with Thigh Society is we have remained relentlessly focused on being the authority in the anti-chafe, lower body sweat solution undergarment space. We have stuck to shorts. We launched longer legs, different colors, but staying really true to the value that we offer our customers and not diluting our offering by going into other apparel, et cetera, which we are venturing into in our next phase of growth. But by staying somewhere too long, it allowed us to remain very focused and allowed our customers to know us and trust us for the solutions we were giving them, as opposed to being known for nothing. We were known for something very specific.
Well, hopefully you'll come back and talk about the next phase.
I hope so.
When you're ready.
Definitely.
You and I talked about this before, and you had mentioned the fact that you went to the banks. And you went to the banks just to prove that you are still marketable.
Yep.
And you went on job interviews
Yep.
while you were still building your business.
Yep.
What does that say about the internal experience of entrepreneurship that no one talks about?
So entrepreneurship is really scary.
Yeah.
And As I mentioned before, I was a reluctant entrepreneur. I thought there was a lot of risk involved, and I wanted to do everything I could to minimize the risk to myself personally and professionally. So while I was working as a career coach for 7 years building Thigh Society, I wondered, am I still marketable? If Thigh Society fails, if I go all in for the next year, will I be able to be employable after this? So it took 3 job interviews, of which I got offers for and turned down, to say to myself, okay, I think the risk is not as big as I'm telling myself in my head. And entrepreneurship is a mind game because it's a roller coaster. You have highest highs, lowest lows. Some days you feel like throwing in the towel. Other days you're on cloud 9. And it really takes a healthy dose of balancing that with having confidence and knowing that you can make it work.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Today's topic is your problem might be your purpose. Okay, Marnie, thigh chafing. Thigh chafing. It's such a mouthful.
It is.
It affects every woman out there. And regardless of what size they are, every woman has something that they're dealing with. Why did it matter to you that people understood that just like beyond just selling more shorts?
The mission for Thigh Society has been personal for me since day one. And it started when I was looking for this product that I so desperately needed. And all I could find was these big, ugly bloomers that were marketed towards plus size women.
Yeah.
With the implication being that if you have this problem,
You're plus size.
You're plus size.
Right.
You must need to shrink your body. And that messaging has been so ingrained in women since from a young age, we are told, shrink your body.
Yeah.
And I knew from experience that chafing affected my body no matter what size I had been.
Yeah.
And in speaking with women of size 2 were experiencing thigh chafing, and women who were size 22 were just as likely to not experience thigh chafing. It has to do with skin on skin friction and is independent of the size that you are. So I was really on a mission to dispel this notion that if your thighs touched and sweat, which is what causes the rash, you are in a human body. Congratulations.
Yay us.
Right?
Okay, so you've spent 17 years normalizing the
Yes.
conversation about sweat and chafe.
Yes.
How does that connect to something larger, bigger, about what women are taught to quietly suffer through? Because I remember growing up, we had all those beautiful models, these supermodels on covers with, you know, their legs were the size of my arms.
I remember
Right?
that too.
Right? And,
Yep.
and this is what we were all supposed to look like.
Diet culture is everywhere. And I know exactly what you're talking about because I grew up with the same imagery. And I think it takes brands like Thigh Society who are standing up and showing size inclusivity across a range of sizes. We offer extra small to 6 extra large. And being an example for young women, girls, up to grandmothers, that if you have a body, congratulations, you have one life to live and better to spend it in comfort and not thinking about what you're wearing underneath. Because the more we're distracted by our undergarments, the less we can be present up here.
Yep.
And women, we have brains. Our brains are up here. We don't need to be distracted by our clothing down there.
It's very true. And it's, you know, what's really interesting, you just talked about the demographics, and you were asking me what demographics watches Empowered.
Totally.
And I said, university students to 80 plus.
Yep.
And so, you know, we are doing something right for everyone involved, which is really good, because as we said earlier, there are certain topics that were so taboo and yours is not. And I want to talk about, you know, your customer is a teenager in her first summer dress and an 80-year-old active retiree. So we've gone from here to here, right?
Yep.
Or a nurse on a 12-hour shift. What do all those women have in common?
So all of those women have comfort in common. All of those women are looking for comfort and are looking for distraction-free comfort during their workday. They all have more important things to do, whether that's socializing with friends, treating patients, working with school children where they're bending down and standing up all day. They just want a modesty undergarment that's going to keep them cool, confident, and comfortable so they can focus on what they do best in this world and not worrying about fidgeting or adjusting or making wardrobe choices in the morning based on the weather.
Yeah, that's important. Okay. Has there been a customer message that stopped you in your tracks and you were like,
so many. And I was thinking of so many preparing for this moment. And then something came up yesterday that completely stopped me in my tracks.
uh-oh.
Canadian singer-songwriter Julie Black shouted us out on her Instagram wearing the most stunning bodycon dress. And she was wearing Thigh Society underneath. And she said, I have not worn this dress in years because I've been insecure about my cellulite on my legs.
Okay.
And it's a bazillion degrees outside and I want to wear this dress, but I put it away thinking I wouldn't be able to wear it. And there she is wearing her Thigh Society cooling shorts underneath her bodycon, no lines, no cellulite, which we're totally okay with showing, but everybody has their personal comfort level, and putting this on her Instagram, and just out of the goodness of her own heart because she's a genuine fan of the brand.
I love it.
And so while that's a star-studded example, another example that comes to mind is a young woman with Down syndrome who is very prone to getting groin pimples in her groin and was wanting to wear her skirts and dresses, but in the summertime found it difficult because she had to layer with thick bicycle shorts and underwear and just had these horrible rashes. And her mother initially reached out to us when she was a teenager saying, I found your product and my daughter loves it. She's now a teenager. She's at college or university and she wears our shorts all the time. And it just gives her the ability to express herself as she wants.
I love it. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski, and I'm joined by Marnie Rabinovitch, CEO and founder, Thigh Society. Today's topic is your problem might be your purpose. Okay, Marnie, you've described yourself as someone who works way too much but loves work. Where's the honest tension in that for you right now?
Well, it's a good question. I just turned 50 last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think your priorities change as you get older and you realize that life is short and work is great. And what work-life balance means to me might mean something very different to someone else. I love what I do. I'm fortunate to have found a career for myself that really is purposeful, but I also am more than my work. I have friends, I have family and other hobbies I want to pursue. So right now, the tension is just giving the business what it needs to grow as we look towards our next phase of growth, and also making sure that I have time for myself and my hobbies and my personal life.
Because that's really important.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know Thigh Society is your baby. But your body and your mind are also your baby as well.
Exactly. You can't take it with you, right? And the goal is to live a long life.
Yeah, absolutely. A healthy one.
Healthy,
right?
long life. Yes.
So what's the thing most aspiring entrepreneurs get wrong about what it actually takes, and not the polished version, a real one?
I think a lot of entrepreneurs think that you have to be confident right out of the gate. And the reality is every day is a new challenge with entrepreneurship. So you have to just be able to work on the fly and be able to trust your gut and get comfortable with discomfort. That's my biggest lesson. Yeah. Don't think you're going to come in knowing all the answers. Nobody has all the answers, but believe in yourself that you can figure it out.
And I love the fact that you just said nobody has all the answers. And to me, you need to surround yourself with a great group of people. And to me, it's always surrounding myself with great girlfriends, because if I don't know something, one of them will know. And so that way I know I will never fail at anything. But I think the next generation coming up, everyone feels that they need to know everything. And I think that's a problem, especially to the aspiring leaders. And they need to know the fact that you don't need to know everything.
They do. I mean, with AI now, you can learn a lot with the click of a button, but I think giving yourself some grace and knowing that you get experience as you get experience, rather than having to know everything at once, will serve you well.
So you're 17 years in now. You just won the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Thank you.
And you're expanding into new categories, which you'd kind of talked about. Does it feel like you thought it would?
Not at all. I don't think I even allowed myself to think about what this could feel like. And the accolades are really nice, but what's really most important to me is that women have options now that I didn't have in 2008. That women have freedom to choose to wear whatever they want because they don't have to worry about sweat and down there discomfort. They have an undergarment that will serve them well throughout the whole day. So the accolades and the attention are great, but nothing like I could have ever felt. And for me, literally reading reviews day to day makes me the happiest beyond anything.
You do read the reviews?
I do, every single day.
All of them?
Yep.
That's important because that actually tells me and everyone else that you want to know what people are saying, and you want to know if you're not hitting a proper note.
Yep, I do, because I was the customer number one. And now we have millions of customers, 3 million pairs of shorts later.
I love it.
We have a lot of people who are in love with Thigh Society.
So what would you say to women listening who has a problem can't find a solution
Mhm.
and just keeps waiting for someone else to solve their solution?
I would say go out and get it, girl. Go out and solve it, because that's the difference between an entrepreneur and a non-entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs see opportunity and act on it. And chances are, if you have a problem that you are trying to solve, whether it's a product or service that's missing in your life, talk to people, ask them if they feel the same way. And then if you're itching to do something a little new, if you're curious, go out and explore that, because you never know. It might just be the next thing.
So take the risk.
Take the risk, believe in yourself, and don't quit your day job.
Yes, I like that. Thanks, Marnie.
Thank you.
Marnie wants you to know the thing you've been quietly living with, the problem you assume was just yours to manage, that's probably the thing you were meant to build. Stop waiting for the market to validate the idea before you believe it in yourself. And just don't quit your day job just yet. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski, and I'm here to empower you and make frugality fashionable. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.